I answer emergency calls for a living. Last night, my phone rang, and the caller ID showed my own number. The voice on the line was mine. It knew my apartment. It knew my future. And it warned me that if I answered one more call, I wouldn't survive the night. People think the job is about panic. It is not. Panic is easy. Panic follows rules. The real work is listening to the pauses between words, the breaths people take when they are deciding whether to lie to you. You learn the shape of fear. You learn when someone is already gone, even while they are still talking. That night began like all the others. I signed in. I adjusted my headset. I checked the clock out of habit, even though time stops meaning anything once the sun goes down. My screen glowed with the usual empty grid, waiting to be filled with someone else's emergency. I remember thinking, absurdly, that it was too quiet. The first few calls were routine. A domestic argument that had burned itself out by the time officers arrived. A drunk driver reported by someone shaking with righteous anger. A medical call where the caller stayed calm enough that I knew the patient would probably live. The system logged everything with mechanical patience. My fingers moved without thought. Then my phone rang again. The system flashed the incoming number across my screen. At first, my brain refused to interpret it. That happens sometimes, when something does not fit the pattern you expect. The number was mine. Not similar. Not one digit off. Mine. The same one I have had since before this job, since before I learned what fear sounds like through cheap speakers. I laughed. I actually laughed, a short breath of disbelief. Systems glitch. Databases hiccup. It was probably a routing error, some ghost of a call bouncing around the network until it found a place to land. I answered anyway. Emergency services, I said, slipping into the voice I wear for strangers. Calm. Flat. Reassuring. What's your emergency? For a moment. There was only breathing. It was close breathing. Too close. The sound of air moving past teeth and tongue, amplified by a microphone held inches from a mouth. I waited, counting silently, ready to prompt. Then the caller spoke. My emergency is you, the voice said. It was my voice. Not a recording. Not an echo. It had the same tired cadence, the same slight hitch on certain consonants. Even the background noise was familiar, the faint hum of fluorescent lights, the soft click of a keyboard. I felt cold spread up my arms, like I had brushed against something dead. Sir, I said, because training does not evaporate even when reality bends. If this is a prank call, you're going to say my name next, the voice interrupted. You always do when you want control back. My name came out of the speaker. Hearing your own name in your own voice should not feel like a violation, but it did. It felt intimate in a way that made my skin crawl. I glanced around the call floor. Rows of empty desks stretched away from me. Night shift skeleton crew. Everyone else was on break or handling their own calls. No one was looking at me. No one was listening. How are you doing this? I asked, because the alternative was to hang up, and something in my gut told me that would be worse. I'm calling from later, the voice said. From after you messed this up. I swallowed. I can't help you if you don't tell me what's happening. A soft laugh came through the line. I recognized it too. I make that sound when I am trying not to panic. I'm in your apartment, the voice said. Or I will be. You haven't come home yet. My free hand clenched into a fist. I pictured my living room, the sagging couch, the lamp I never turned off because it made the place feel less empty. I had left it exactly as I always did. Prove it, I said. There was a pause, and then the voice described the photograph on my fridge. The one I keep turned face down because looking at it hurts too much. It described the crack in the wall by the bedroom door, the one shaped like a lightning bolt. It described the smell of the place, dust and old takeout and something like regret. My heart hammered so hard I could feel it in my ears. "You called emergency services," I said slowly. "From your own number. That means something bad is happening. Tell me what you need." "I need you to listen," the voice said. "I need you to do exactly what I say, because if you don't, you die screaming." The fluorescent lights flickered overhead, just once, like a nervous twitch. "What's the emergency?" I whispered. Another pause. When the voice spoke again, it was closer to the microphone, conspiratorial. "Someone is going to call you in a few minutes," it said. "A woman. She'll be crying. She'll say there's something in her house. You are going to tell her to stay on the line. You are going to tell her help is on the way." My mouth went dry. "That's my job." "No," the voice said gently. "That's the mistake." On my screen, a new call began to cue, its indicator pulsing softly, patiently, like a heartbeat. "And when she screams," my voice continued, "you are going to hear me in the background." The line went dead. I sat there, headset pressed to my ears, staring at the incoming call notification as it pulsed and pulsed, waiting for me to answer. I did not answer the cued call right away. That alone should tell you how badly the night had already gone. You do not hesitate in this job. Hesitation costs seconds, and seconds cost lives. But my hand hovered over the console while my other hand trembled in my lap, still remembering the warmth of my phone number glowing on the screen. The call rang. I answered. "Emergency services," I said, and this time my voice sounded wrong to my own ears. Thinner. Brittle. "What's your emergency?" A woman sobbed into the line. Not hysterical screaming, not yet. This was the kind of crying that comes from trying very hard not to make noise. There's something in my house," she whispered. My spine locked. "It's okay," I said automatically, every syllable drilled into muscle memory. "You're safe right now. I'm here with you. Can you tell me your address?" She did. It was only a few miles from my apartment. Close enough that the knowledge crawled under my skin. "What's happening in your house?" I asked. "I keep hearing footsteps," she said. "But when I look, there's nothing there. And my phone rang, and when I answered, no one was there. Just breathing." The call from my number echoed in my skull. "Are you alone?" I asked. "I thought I was," she said. "But now I don't know." Behind her words, barely audible, I heard another sound. Breathing. Slow. Familiar. My breathing. "Ma'am," I said carefully, "I need you to listen to me. I need you to go somewhere safe. A room you can lock." "I'm in the bedroom," she said. The doors closed. A soft thump came through the line, like something leaning its weight against wood. "Something just touched the door," she whispered. I felt my stomach drop. "I'm sending help," I said, typing as fast as my fingers would allow, dispatching units with hands that had begun to sweat. "Stay on the line with me. Don't open the door for anyone until the officers arrive." "Okay," she breathed. "Okay." The breathing in the background grew louder. Then, unmistakably, I heard my voice. "Don't listen to him," it said, from her end of the line. "He's already too late." The woman screamed. The sound tore through the call floor, sharp enough that someone 2 desks down looked up, startled. I couldn't hear anything else for a moment, just that scream stretching until it broke into hoarse sobs. "Ma'am," I shouted. "Ma'am, stay with me." "It's in the room," she cried. It looks like she stopped. Silence rushed in, heavy and wrong. "Ma'am?" I said again, my heart hammering. "Can you hear me?" Footsteps echoed faintly through her phone, slow and deliberate, crossing carpet. Then the call disconnected. I stared at the screen as the system logged the termination. My hands felt numb. Somewhere in the building. A printer whirred to life. Normal sounds in a world that had just tilted off its axis. My phone rang again. My number. I answered without thinking. "You heard it," my voice said. It sounded closer now, more solid. "That's what happens when you follow procedure." "What did you do to her?" I demanded. "What you're going to do to yourself," it replied. "Eventually." I pushed back from my desk, standing so fast my chair clattered to the floor. "This isn't possible." "Neither is what's coming to your apartment," the voice said. "But you left the lamp on again, didn't you?" My chest tightened. "I called you," it continued, "because this is the only way you listen. You don't notice the signs unless someone is screaming in your ear." "Signs of what?" I asked. There was a pause. I imagined the other me choosing its words, the same way I do with callers teetering on the edge. "You're not alone anymore," it said. "You haven't been for a while." A memory surfaced unbidden. The feeling of being watched in my own home, the misplaced objects, the sense that time slipped when I wasn't looking. I had blamed exhaustion. Stress. The job. "You let it in," my voice said softly. "Every night you bring other people's fear home with you." Tonight it learned how to dial. My screen flashed an alert. A new incoming call. The address field autofilled before I even looked. My apartment. I felt something inside me break open, a cold, hollow understanding rushing in. "If you answer that," the voice on the line said, "you complete the loop. You become me." "And if I don't?" I asked. A smile crept into the voice. I could hear it. "Then it answers for you." The call from my apartment rang and rang. I ripped the headset from my ears and ran. I do not remember leaving the building. I do not remember the drive. I remember my front door standing open, the lamp glowing warmly inside, just like always. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Incoming call. From my own number. I did not answer. I am writing this from my car, parked a safe distance away, watching my apartment windows. I can see my shadow moving inside, pacing, phone to ear, practicing what it will say when I finally pick up. Because the phone is still ringing. And I know myself well enough to know that eventually, I will answer.